pregnant and dealing with suspicions. I'll preface this with the fact that I am 8 months pregnant. I understand that this could likely make me a bit more vulnerable to emotional extremes and maybe some erratic/illogical thought processes. That said, I've always had a bit of a question mark about my partner's capacity to be faithful based on what I know of his past/anecdotal evidence of our present. I fully acknowledge that is not the best foundation on which to start a relationship. It's really easy to look back in hindsight and wonder what I was thinking allowing our relationship to progress, and though I can't go back in time, I still beat myself up over it regularly. We met in 2021 and started super casually. I had a strong inkling that he was seeing other people, but we had mutually agreed to keep our time together casual, non-exclusive, and fun. It's what I needed at the time and it worked for him. The one thing I did get clarified was that he did not have a girlfriend and I trusted that. One day after I'd been seeing him for 6 months, a woman showed up to his house when he and I had been spending a weekend together. She was extremely combative towards him and myself, and referred to herself as his ex-girlfriend. I felt wildly uncomfortable and it seemed like he may have minimized the extent/length of their relationship. I expressed my discomfort to him and told him that I felt that based on her aggressive behavior, he'd been dishonest with me. He insisted that he hadn't lied to me and she was an embittered ex as she herself stated. Either way, I wasn't up for the drama and didn't want to deal with drop-ins from people who were confrontational and filled with rage. He understood my discomfort and so we parted ways for some time. I should have left it at that and walked away. That I'm here means that I obviously chose differently. We reconnected a couple months later and resumed our casual relationship. My guard has never fully dropped since that incident, 1.5 years ago, but our relationship has progressed to exclusivity, living together, and now we have a baby on the way. The baby was unplanned. I'd previously been told I was infertile based on 10 years of fertility consultations, but the baby is celebrated and wanted. After that red flag of his ex showing up, I really put a lot of trust in my gut and my intuition. For a long time there was nothing to base my suspicions on, but I still had the sense that there was something I didn't know. Then I found the letters. While we were helping each other pack our separate residences to move in together, I found 2 love letters written to him and dated after he and I had agreed on exclusivity. The letters were from different people, and had been received within 3 weeks of each other about 5 months prior to me discovering them. One of them mentioned sending him naughty photos and having phone, but ultimately, both letters seemed to express a finality and/or sadness that he had changed or stopped showing them interest entirely. They were hard to read knowing that we were clearly exclusive at the point he received them, but also conflicting because they seemed to indicate the end of whatever had existed between him and these 2 women. I let the letter situation go because of the overall contents of them, because I'm pregnant, and because we just moved in together. Since then, we've had a couple instances of lack of intimacy, on his end, which have really negatively impacted me, but I've chalked it up to the pregnancy and his stress, and they were not long-lasting either. However, even after expressing to him that I need that intimacy element of our relationship, he will deny me at times. I could begrudgingly accept that, until I caught him masturbating in the morning last week. Now, I cannot shake the overwhelming feeling that there is something going on that I don't know about, and I suspect that, at minimum, he's receiving XXX pictures from someone. I have a few key things that continually ruminate in my mind. I'm pregnant and it's made me extremely sensitive and admittedly emotionally needy. It also makes me question my own ability to judge a situation objectively. I'm so profoundly angry with myself for, 1, stumbling into a relationship with him and, 2, accidentally letting it progress to the point of conceiving a baby with him. I feel like all of this is completely my doing, my fault, and that I've done this to myself. That I'm even writing this makes me feel ludicrous for staying in a relationship with him, but leaving the relationship also impacts more than just me now, and so I don't know what to do. I've thought of checking his phone, but I simply don't have access to it. He's extremely tech-savvy and works for a major phone company, so it's not as easy as just picking it up and going through it when he goes to the bathroom. I don't have his password and he uses biometrics to lock/unlock every piece of tech. I haven't asked him to show me the phone unprompted, partly because I'm scared he will outright reject that, which will feel like it immediately confirms my suspicions. That's scary to face at 8 months pregnant. I have thought of talking with him about it, but don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. I also think that talking is almost futile because if he is capable of being dishonest with me, pouring my heart out and asking for honesty is a lost cause. I don't think people who can lie so easily will suddenly have a pang of morality and be able to say, yeah, know what, Now that you have ripped your heart out of your chest and put it on the table, let me admit to my infidelity. Additionally, to me, striking up this conversation seems like a perfect opportunity for a liar to gaslight, so I've kept my mouth shut because I don't need to be made to feel crazy by someone else when I already do that to myself. He knows that something is off with me and keeps asking if I'm okay, but I just tell him I'm fine and move along. I need help analyzing the situation objectively. Yes, he's been dishonest with me. Yes, I've protected my heart from breaking because of this. But, it's not just a simple leave him because I'm due to have his child in 1 month and we live together, so realistic advice is extremely welcome. I'm personally of the mindset that either, A, he needs to change/be more open and be willing to go to couples counseling, or, B, I need to significantly reduce my expectations of him as a partner and view him as a co-parent. Comment. Counseling only works when both people are invested in the process. Forcing someone to attend counseling rarely works, if ever, and often cheaters will continue to cheat despite attending counseling. What do your options look like? Is there space in your current residence to co-parent until your lease is up? Is he willing to stay with you and help provide support for you and the baby even if you are no longer romantically involved? Do you have friends and/or family that are able to help? Can you afford to live independently, if needed? We were discussing and researching moving in for a while, but the pregnancy certainly expedited it. We both really disliked our individual living situations for different reasons. My place had issues with ants and the landlord wouldn't do anything. His place had issues with overcrowding/parties/unclean amenities and his landlord wouldn't do anything, plus we spent almost every evening together. We somehow stumbled upon a spectacular condo and have loved living in it. I think you're right that talking is likely where it has to begin. I'm just nervous I will become emotional, that will cause me to talk in circles/miss points or details. You have the perfect excuse to tee this up with him. You're pregnant and any adult knows that creates lots of mood swings and hormones. I think you sit him down and tell him you are feeling very pregnant and are very aware of the new life you're about to welcome, and those two things together make you want to feel secure in your relationship together, so you want to do something and hope he will be okay. Tell him you want to unlock everything on your phone and hand it to him while he does the same with his. You want to do that not because you expect to find something but because you need that symbol of total trust and commitment with Junior about to arrive. His reaction will tell you if you're just paranoid. I think that you should step back and, unless something very obvious jumps out, enjoy the remainder of your pregnancy. Keep your eyes open, but if you can't have a look at cell phone records or credit card records or his actual phone, it's going to be difficult. Your only options are a voice-activated recorder, pen, in the car, or a pie. Of course, you absolutely could ask, but cheaters rarely admit to anything you don't know. Think about proactively suggesting marriage/couples counseling to adjust to living together and a new baby. I don't think it'll be healthy for you to overfocus right now or postpart. Have you asked about the letters? That's an obvious concern and conversation. Maybe in counseling you could discuss healthy personal and relationship boundaries so you're each clear about expectations. Next story 2. My ex-boyfriend is starting to make me feel guilty for breaking up with him after emotionally cheating. Even while doing all that. Throughout our relationship, my ex-boyfriend has repeatedly given me reasons not to trust him, such as bookmarking videos/photos of OnlyFans girls on Twitter, watching unhealthy amounts of porn, most of these videos involved threesomes, flirting with other women when he travels out of state for his dad's company, refusing to discuss our future, and lusting over other women with his single friends in his group chats when I'm not around. Those are just some of the few examples where he has took advantage of my trust and forgiveness. I was naive and let my attachment to him control my decision-making, being that he was my first boyfriend and he took my virginity. However, I have broken up with him before because I went on his laptop and saw messages of him texting his friends saying that he was hanging out with a girl at a local bar and that she has 11/10 titties and that she was about to make him act up. I was destroyed and my heart was shattered when I found these messages, so I immediately ended the relationship in which he begged me stay. I told him to take his stuff and to never speak to me again, but that didn't matter because I took him back shortly after that. He tried to show remorse by showering me with gifts and letters promising a future with me. I was hurt and gullible enough to fall for it. We talked stuff through and was doing fine after that, but fast forward a few months later, I went through his phone while he was sleeping. I know, but something in my heart was telling me something wasn't right, and sure enough he was hiding messages from me again. I found deleted messages between him and this girl he used to have a rocky history with. She knew him and I were together. In these messages, She reached out to him, clearly flirting with him, telling him that she's been having dreams of him and he is feeding into it. He also insisted on moving the conversation over to Snapchat, where he changed the settings to delete automatically after viewing. I still have no idea what was said in these messages other than him telling me that he was angry at her for flaking on plans with him in the past. We argued about this for a few hours and he said he was willing to change. I felt emotionally drained, so I broke up with him a couple days later. I messaged the girl telling her that what she did was extremely disrespectful. Then I sent him my piece and immediately blocked him and went no contact for 3 weeks straight. During this time, the same girl and her sister went on Instagram to bully me online. I was a wreck and I couldn't bear the pain anymore, so I reached out to him for closure in hopes of finally moving on. At first he seemed very guilty and told me that he's felt very lost, that he misses our relationship, promising a future again, and that he is willing to go to therapy for me. I was willing to give him another chance, but this time I was extremely guarded, a bit cold, and blunt to him for a few weeks because of how much he's put me through, and that this could all be a lie like last time. Now last night is where I'm left stuck. We were discussing how to properly go about mending this situation, but to my surprise, he comes to me telling me how I am so cruel to sever our relationship so fast and that I never cared about him, that every decision I've made to heal from this breakup is to hurt him on purpose, that my actions are not matching my words, and that I should feel regretful for my decision, and he doesn't know if it's worth it to get back together anymore because of how quickly I was to give up on him. According to him, he doesn't have the trust to believe I won't just break up with him again. He told me that everyone is telling him to move on from me, that mending this relationship is an unnecessary distraction, and that he doesn't deserve to be with a girl who could just leave him. He is constantly bringing up the fact that I broke up with him rather than the reason why I did. I responded telling him that if this possibly doesn't work out, I wish him the best and it's no point in trying to mend something that is broken beyond repair. He got so angry and said that I'm giving up on us again and irrationally throwing this relationship away, and this exactly why he's discouraged to fix this relationship with me. I'm not sure what to do or how to feel about anything anymore. I know I love him so much, but this is taking a lot of my mental and emotional space throughout my weeks. Am I being manipulated? Does he have a valid point? Or maybe I'm just wasting my time. I feel very lost. Comment. Your ex-boyfriend is a shitty, manipulative person. If he was a worthwhile person, he would not be trying to blame you for how you reacted to his shitty behavior. This is classic Darvo. It's not what he did, it's your reaction to it that's the problem. What should you do? Block him, delete him from your social media. Block his flying monkeys, his friends/family trying to speak/act on his behalf, and block his AP and her flying monkeys. You need to cut him out of your life. You snooped because you sensed that he was up to something that was against your best interest, imo that makes it justified. No, snooping around his phone doesn't negate his behavior and is far worse, you expect him to tell you. He will when they are in love and leaving you. There is no right to privacy in a relationship that is committed. Do not apologize to some Redditor for doing what you needed to break up. He is cheater, and they cheat. They are liars also, and it will destroy you. Healthy people do what you did. Good for you. Dating is where you pick a mate, you work out a marriage, not a dating situation. Consider it enough information. People treat you how you allow them to. He isn't going to change. Block him, stop contacting him altogether. Make your IG private so no one can bully you. There are much better men out there. He's a jerk, and you know that. He pretended to accept blame to get you talking to him again, and once you were, he switched right back to what he'd wanted to do, which was to blame you for the situation and act like he should be able to do this stuff. He tried so hard to get you back, then immediately switched into you need to fight to be with me, including excusing things I do the moment he thought you might react to his playing hard to get by trying to get him. He wants you to feel bad about leaving for emotional cheating, and signs there may have been more than that, so he can have the relationship again, but this time he can cheat without worrying you'll leave. No, you are making yourself feel guilty. You are allowing him to do so. Why are you even in contact with him? And cheaters always lie and try to minimize their crimes. They will say it wasn't the Huli 9 Vyards when it actually was. What part of cheaters always lying, are you just not understanding? And remorse, true remorse does not minimize, lie, misdirect, gaslight, stonewall or anything deceptive or manipulative. Remorse is all about actions in restoring trust, faith, and honesty that has been disrupted by their cheating. There is even a fine line between a true emotional affair and other affairs. He has a large incentive in continuing to lie to you. Remorse is an incentive to not continue lying. Why are you still with this guy? He's a cheater and a deceiver. He blames you for your fully justified response to his cheating and manipulation. Why are you asking us about his behaviors when you already know he's an arsehole? Dump him and move on. He'll cost you your mental health with his darvo and lies. 99 out of 100 men are a better prospect than him. Leave him, and never look back.